Lake Corpus Christi is having a great week, and Mount Cristo Rey is at the center of a border security battle. Today is Thursday, May 28th, 2026, and this is South Texas Midday. I'm Spencer Chiak. While this morning may have been a dry one after a rainy week in South Texas, there is some good news for Corpus Christi's water supply and the coastal bend. Lake Corpus Christi is now 16.9% full, improving by 5% in the past week alone and almost doubling in the past month. Choke Canyon has seen a much smaller boost in its capacity, rising by less than 0.5% in the past month to 7.6% full. To end water restrictions, the combined levels of Lake Corpus Christi and Choke Canyon have to reach 50%. An investigation by AP has found ICE staff have ignored signs of distress, delayed mental health treatment, and failed to monitor detainees who are already deemed at risk. They also permitted detainees to have access to materials that could be used for self-harm, according to AP's review of ICE inspection reports and death records. Since the Trump administration started in January 2025, 10 detainees, all men, have committed suicide while in custody. Since October, there have been 7. Previously, the average was usually no greater than 1 a year. In response to AP, ICE has repeatedly asserted that it screens detainees within 12 hours of arrival for medical, dental, and mental health conditions. The latest fight over building a new section of border wall is happening on the edge of Texas. Mount Cristo Rey overlooks Texas, New Mexico, and Mexico, and every year thousands of pilgrims hike up to the large statue of Christ at the top. The Catholic Diocese owns the property and considers it a holy site. The federal government says it wants to extend the border wall at the foot of the mountain. KTEP's Angela Kocherga reports what many consider sacred land is now at the center of a legal fight over religious freedom versus border security.
The gleaming white statue of Christ at the top of Mount Cristo Rey towers over the tiny border town Sunland Park, New Mexico. At least 40,000 people a year walk the winding path up the mountain to reach the limestone sculpture of Jesus Christ with outstretched arms. The Good Friday pilgrimage is one of the largest. It's a tradition for Lulu Alvarado's family. She looked down disapprovingly at the construction crews using heavy equipment to clear land to extend the border wall.
It really shows the divide between people.
Ruben Escandon is with the Mount Cristo Rey Restoration Committee.
It's a religious icon, it's also a cultural icon, and it's an artistic icon.
He's part of an all-volunteer organization that includes families who for generations have cared for the 29-foot figure of Christ. They rely on donations.
Donations for your mountain, free postcards.
The Department of Homeland Security, in an eminent domain lawsuit, wants to seize about 14 acres for additional roads, fencing, vehicle barriers, security lighting, cameras, sensors, and more. They've offered the diocese just over $183,000 for the property. Escandon says he understands the need for border enforcement, but
I think they're doing it backwards, starting the construction, and then now they're covering their behinds, saying, okay, well, now we need to take the property.
the diocese is fighting the federal government's effort to take possession of some of its land, and in a court filing said it will substantially burden the free exercise of religion. William Powell, an attorney representing the Las Cruces Diocese, said, quote, "The effort to condemn diocesan land to build a border wall is an affront to religious liberty," end quote. Ramon Garcia is in his 70s, but still makes the more than 2-mile pilgrimage up Mount Cristo Rey during the Easter season. The border native says President Trump is just stealing land from the people. April Fincher's family moved to this area 3 years ago. During her first hike up the mountain with her 14-year-old daughter, she only had one question.
Can you still get all the way up? Okay, then build the wall.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection said, quote, "Access to the shrine will not be affected as all attendees enter from the U.S. side," end quote. CBP wants to cut off a well-worn smuggling route and close a gap with other sections of the border wall in this area. The mountain is already heavily guarded by helicopters, drones, Border Patrol agents on horseback, and SUVs. There are also ground sensors and cameras. The legal battle could last months. I'm Angela Kocherga in Sunland Park, New Mexico.
In sports, 4 nuns who have become fan favorites during the Spurs playoff run say they hope the attention also shines a spotlight on their work on San Antonio's west side. Texas Public Radio's Brian Kirkpatrick reports.
Bernadette Mota is one of those sisters who played basketball in high school. She says the sisters do not want to be known as the Spurs nuns, but as the Salesian Sisters of St. John Bosco of the West Side. She says their primary mission is not cheering for the Spurs, but supporting children and women at risk. Mota says she and the 3 other nuns seen during games actually represent dozens of sisters in the local order who have rooted for the Spurs for about 20 years. Mota says the sisters pray that the Spurs play to their full potential each night.
We just pray that they play their game the way they can. They play as a team, united, and they leave it all on the court. They play their hardest. That's what we're hoping for. And we do not wish any harm against Oklahoma. They're a very good team. They have fabulous players, too.
She says the Spurs are easy to root for because they carry themselves with humility and teamwork. The sisters have a worn-out basketball hoop behind their convent where they occasionally shoot baskets. Mota says sports helps them connect with young people and teach values like discipline and teamwork. She says play is a gift from God. Mota says she does not know if Pope Leo has heard about the sisters' support for the Spurs, but they hope the Chicago White Sox fan eventually does. I'm Brian Kirkpatrick in San Antonio.
The Spurs will look to keep their NBA Finals hopes alive tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio. Both wins for the Spurs have been at home this series. Tip-off is at 7:30. For those looking to get away in Victoria County, residents can once again have their airline tickets subsidized if they fly through Victoria Regional Airport. The county commissioners have approved a promotion that reimburses travelers either $100 on a single airline ticket or $250 for groups. The average flight cost has increased by as much as 23% since last year. The cost jump is attributed with the war in Iran. Finally, one Edinburgh resident is feeling lucky after winning a $1 million scratcher in Asherton. The Texas Lottery says the Premier Play ticket was the 4th of $10 million prizes to be claimed. This has been South Texas Midday on your community-owned station, KTEP and KVRT. I'm Spencer Chiak. Your community arts calendar and more is on its way next.